Are you in a healthy relationship or are you in a toxic relationship? If you're dealing with a narcissist, your red flags might be a little different than they would be if you're dealing with someone who's not a narcissist. So in today's video, we're going to talk about red flags that might mean a relationship's in trouble and what the difference is in a healthy relationship and a narcissistic one. Whether or not you're in a relationship with a narcissist sometimes might seem irrelevant to you personally. And that's because labels or no, your relationship might be in trouble. We're going to talk about 5 red flag signs that your relationship is in trouble and that you need to make some changes. So let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and we'll get going. Here's the thing, whether or not you're in a relationship with a narcissist, every single relationship on the planet of the romantic nature is going to have a certain point of no return. So when it gets to this point, you may not be able to fix the relationship. And sometimes when you're dealing with narcissists in, say, a parental relationship, it can cause your romantic relationship to go bad. However, sometimes you might be dealing with a narcissist and not know it. I'm going to share with you some tips that I have found are big red flags in any relationship. And if you find yourself seeing these red flags, you might take the time to evaluate whether or not you're dealing with someone who's a narcissist or whether you're dealing with someone who you can resolve the relationship with. So number 1 is that you and your partner just kind of stay clear of each other. You avoid each other. Now this might be in actuality, as in you physically avoid each other, or this could be metaphorical, as in you are in the same room but you're not really there together. For example, maybe you bust out your cell phone and start typing away to your friends when you're hanging out with your partner alone, or maybe you're just glued to the TV and not really paying attention to each other. Maybe you don't allow time in your schedule to spend time with your partner anymore because you know it will just be so stressful. Maybe it's just about, you know, that every time you hang out together you're going to argue. Either way, it kind of ends up where you don't spend enough time with your partner and you're avoiding them when you are spending time with them. Number 2, you find yourself walking on eggshells. As we all know, this is a common situation in a narcissistic relationship. But even in a regular healthy relationship, you might find yourself walking on eggshells. This could be because you feel as though you irritate your partner for no reason or for some reason, or your partner irritates you when you act a certain way. Now, if you're dealing with a narcissist, chances are you're going to be the one walking on eggshells all the time, and the narcissist will only pretend to walk on eggshells when it serves them to manipulate you. But if you're in a healthier relationship, you might still find yourself walking on eggshells. And this is especially true if you kind of have lost communication and you're just reacting to each other instead of actually communicating. Number 3, you stop talking to each other about big decisions. For example, if you find yourself in a position where you get a job offer in another city, you might decide whether or not to take that job offer without talking to your partner first. That's a bad thing. So anytime you're making a big decision in a healthy relationship, you would talk to your partner about it, especially if it involves moving into a different city, right? So if you're dealing with that, it's a red flag. Now, if you're dealing with a narcissist, they're going to make these decisions for you sometimes. So they'll go, yeah, I'll take that job. And then they'll come home and say, we're moving to Texas tomorrow or whatever, without even consulting you because they don't care how you feel. They don't care that you just started a new business that's thriving in Ohio. They just want what they want. And so there's the difference. Number 4, you don't discuss your feelings. So this could be, in the case of a narcissist, you might not discuss your feelings because you're afraid of them or because you know that they never validate your feelings. Or in a healthier relationship, you might not discuss your feelings because you just stop discussing your feelings. You kind of grow used to each other and you assume that you know everything, they assume they know everything, and nobody actually talks anymore. Sometimes you'll see a simple shift in behavior in a healthy relationship, and it might just be that you start doing something different to deal with your stress or your anxiety rather than talking with your partner. Sometimes it'll be that you're focusing on personal goals that have nothing to do with your relationship and you just become distracted by those. That's pretty normal. But if you want to keep the relationship healthy, take a look at this and go, Should I be talking to my partner more? Now again, if you're dealing with a narcissist, this is not going to be helpful to you because the narcissist doesn't really want to hear what you have to say unless it's, oh my God, you're so amazing. So keep that in mind. If your partner previously was very chatty and shared their feelings easily with you, and now they're not all of a sudden, if you don't have a lot of red flags of narcissism, it might be worth sitting down with that person and discussing, why have we made these changes in our relationship? What has changed? What is different? If both of you or either of you are suddenly avoiding physical contact, that's another sign that you're not connecting and communicating the way you should. Again, if you're dealing with a narcissist, this is just one more step closer to the door. If you're dealing with a healthy relationship, then it might be time for you to take a moment and spend some time together. And number 5, it's all about the ultimatum. If you are giving an ultimatum every 5 minutes or your partner's giving an ultimatum every 5 minutes, that's a red flag that there's a problem. That means somebody has gotten to the point where they're done communicating. If that is the case, you won't negotiate, your partner won't negotiate, ask yourself who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with someone who is a narcissist, then everything they do will reflect the fact that they are self-centered and that they don't care how you feel. But if you're dealing with a healthy person, you're going to see something a little different. You're going to see someone who does care about how you feel, but they've become incredibly frustrated by something and nobody's willing to bend in the relationship. So if you're not willing to compromise and your partner's not willing to compromise, that's a red flag. How do you resolve this? Well, if you're not dealing with a narcissist, then what you can do is sit down and figure out why you've come to this stalemate. Is it really so important to one or the other of you to have things your way? And if it is, then find out, is that workable in your relationship? If you're dealing with a narcissist, there's no point in attempting to negotiate because the narcissist will only do what the narcissist feels is best for their own interest. They don't compromise. So the definition of compromise includes, both parties bending and both parties benefiting and coming out satisfied with the outcome. It's not compromise if you just do what your partner wants and you don't get anything out of the deal. The only thing you got out of the deal is the partner doesn't get mad at you. You see what I mean? Whether or not you can fix the relationship is completely dependent on whether or not both partners are healthy enough to be willing to grow and change together. Relationships are hard, my friend. I've talked before about what real love looks like, and this is it. You've got to compromise. You've got to work together to make it work. And sometimes it goes in a lull and things don't seem perfect. And sometimes things seem amazing. You have to take the time to be grateful for what does work in your relationship and take the time to work together to work through what doesn't. And if you are dealing with a narcissist, you have to understand that you're going to have to put your needs first because no one else in that relationship is going to do that. So keep that in mind. I've got more videos on how to take care of yourself and continue to grow within and without a narcissistic relationship, as well as self-care and self-esteem help. So make sure you take a look at those in the links above and in the description below. This brings me to the question of the day. And the question of the day is, what do you think about your relationship? Do you think you're in a toxic relationship? Do you think you're in a healthy relationship that just needs a little boost? Or is your narcissist someone who isn't your spouse or your partner? Share your thoughts, share your ideas, share your experiences in the comment section below, and let's talk about it. That's all I've got for you right now. As always, thanks so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. I'll see you soon. It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body, take care of your soul, nurture the real you, and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot, take it now, and the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.